I said, how's that feel? He said, oh, it feels great. My financial advisor has been doing a phenomenal job. So I've got an app it's just called Stocks. I knew what, I check every morning what the stock market's doing. I hit today's results, and it was all red. The marks are all down a couple hundred points. So I just flipped my phone around to him and said, does that make you nervous? I sat there, he looked, he goes, what's that? I said, that's losses, you're losing money right now. And he goes, well, yeah. I said, yeah, it should, okay? So if you don't pay attention to what the stock market's doing today, does anybody know what the stock market did last week?
Oh, yeah.
About 6% down, okay? What about December of last year, 2018? The worst December we've had since 1933, okay? These are the things you need to know in order to capture more of the market, because we utilize those on a daily basis. And I'm gonna use that because the markets are at an all-time high right now. They've been there, it's not since yesterday or last week, it's been about 2 years since it's been bouncing off an all-time high. There's been twice in history, or recent history anyway, that the markets performed the same. 2000 and 2007. Anybody know what happened then? 45 and 49% losses, okay? So when we're in the industry of providing index annuities that can't suffer any losses, and we're in a market where S&P, my drawings are terrible, it may make sense, it may not. That's a Loch Ness Monster. What this is 2000, 2007, and today. So when I sit with clients, and they all love their advisor are great, they've been phenomenal forever. I said, yeah, their job's been really easy. Oh, you met him right here? Oh, he's done a great job, okay? So a lot of advisors we come across weren't even in the industry in 2007, 2008, don't even know what happened. So when I sit with people, it's okay. So right now, here's where we're at. We're bounced off at an all-time high. You can pick an index, S&P, Dow, it doesn't even matter. But say the S&P. S&P, the highest it's been is just over 3,000 points, okay? In 2000, it bounced off its previous all-time high of 1,500. Bounced around there for about a year and a half and lost 45%. Then it took 7 years just to get back to zero again, okay? It bounced around 1,500 again, 49% loss, okay? 6 years, 2013, before it got to 1,500 again. So when I sit with clients, I'll ask them, we're not here, we're here. Common sense says it's not gonna go any higher. And if it does, we've got great indexing strategies that we're gonna gain a portion of that, about 80% of those gains, if it does creep higher somehow. But based off of history, and there's 19 indicators of a bear market's going down, 20% loss or more. There's 19 indicators that show a bear market's either coming or already here. We've already triggered 14 of them, okay? 14 of 19 indicators, markets are at an all-time high. Can you squeeze out another 5%? Is that what you're hoping for? I'll tell you what, we'll give it to you. We've got a product that gives you 6%, okay? You don't have to try and put all your chips on the table and hope to squeeze 6% out of your retirement while risking 49% of it. Does that make sense? So when I meet with people, I'm not that smart. I don't have any kind of finance degree or anything. I use a Loch Ness Monster. I use today's data. I'll flip around and show them what the market did today. And the market didn't lose today, I'll talk about last week. And if it didn't lose last week, I'll talk about December. So did you check your January statement? How'd that feel? Oh, it felt terrible, lost 10%. Yeah. What if you lost 10 the next month? And another 10, and another 10. How much can you afford to lose? And so I bring some emotion out of it and I make it real. So your $120,000 is all you have to your name. Okay? And you're trying to squeeze a little bit more out of that. How would that feel if that was $80,000? Oh, and look, next year you turn 70 and a half, and now you got to start taking your RMDs. So then you don't recover, because once you start taking withdrawals out of that, we're talking about 7 years to get back to zero if you make no withdrawals. If you start making withdrawals of 4.5% because you have your RMDs, you're never going to get back. And so what happens after that, and if you've watched, I was in the mortgage market in 2008, and Dateline, CNN, they all had these shows on there about all the retirees that were delivering pizzas, that were getting second jobs. There were retired doctors and going back to work and whatever they could do because they lost their retirements. And so when we sit across with people who are selling life insurance, we know everyone's gonna die. It's easy. You can sell, I sell in every household I'm in. So they're all gonna die here, or someone was gonna go first. But when you look at today's market, and it's at an all-time high for 2 years, and there's nothing that's gonna push any higher. There's not gonna be, any job growth. There's not gonna be, any other, the things that push, see, I'm not even that smart, I can't finish that sentence. I don't even know what pushes it higher. I don't think it's gonna happen. So all the things that make an economy increase have already happened over the last 10 years. Since 1929, every 8.9 years, we have a bear market. That's a 20% loss or more. We're at 10.2 years, so we're in overtime. So I would say with people, I say if we have a product that's gonna lower or eliminate fees, we're gonna eliminate all the risk. When the markets bounce back, we have an uncapped strategy, and I've got statements that show some of my clients gained between 2016 and 2018 about 35%. So we've eliminated the risk, we eliminated the fees. When the markets bounce back, you gain a portion of that, and we're gonna give you 6% today. Why would you leave your money where it's at? Does it make any sense at all? I know you love your advisor, but let me show you something real quick. And this was a nail in the coffin for what I just wrote, because like, yeah, he's just really good. I'm like, oh yeah, my daughter's ski instructor is really good too, but he can't stop an avalanche, And so what I do is I look at his statements, and I'll go for one of the funds they've got a majority of their money in, and one guy had 28% in some fund, and I use Google. I Google the fund, I hit history, and I said, okay, yeah, he's really good. In 2008, this fund lost 54%. There's no difference. If it lost 54% then, it could do the same thing now. So, financial advisors are great people. A lot of my friends are analysts, advisors, and everything. I don't try and knock them, but they only have so many tools they can use. And so they're great for the accumulation phase, but in the protection and distribution phase, what we do, they don't have our products. They don't have anything with no fees. They don't have anything with 100% protection of loss. And the market bounces back, you gain 80% of the gains. So that's why today is the best time that we'll ever come across selling annuities. That's it.